welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am starting off today's look, priming my face with the e.l.f. primer. And I'm going to put this all over my face. And then because I have already sculpted out my brows and cleaned up underneath, I'm going to use this eyeshadow primer before applying the actual eyeshadow products to my eye. And I'm just buffing it out with a Real Techniques brush. And I also go in with the blending sponge. Today I am going to use the ABH Norvina collection. This is the Pro Pigment palette in volume number 5. And I'm going to start with the shade C5. And I am placing the eyeshadow on the outer corners and then also using that brush to spread it over my entire lid. So I am placing the product and blending at the same time. And the color story for this palette is majority purple, but you do have some cool tone, neutral shades in here. You have about 10 or 11 shimmer shades. There's 25 total shades in this palette. And excuse my daughter, she didn't know I was filming. I'm going to now go in with the E3 shade, which is a shimmer shade. And I'm going to spray my flat brush first. And I'm just going to put this on the lower half of my lid. And I'm placing this shade in the shape of a cut crease, but I didn't use any product to actually sculpt the cut crease. And I'm going to do that to both eyes. And then I'm also going in with a blending brush from Real Techniques. It's a little bit smaller than the brush that I was using. And I am putting that E5 shade on the outer portions of my eye. So I'm going in between that Real Techniques brush and a Jaclyn Hill brush. Now that I'm using this shade, it kind of reminded me of a glitter that I had. So I'm going in with some NYX glitter glue. And I'm actually going to put some of that glitter in the open or sparse spaces on my eyelid to fill in with the E3 shade that I'm using from the palette. So I have like a, I guess this will be a plum and fuchsia look going on. And I'm using that same flat brush for the glitter that I used for the shimmer shade in the palette. And to place this glitter on, I did actually put the glitter glue in the shape of a cut crease and just filled in those sparse areas. And a lot of times when I try to achieve a cut crease on my eyelids, I always end up with one a little bit higher than the other. I do have hooded lids, so I try to make my cut crease more higher than where it normally should go, just because if I place it um, by or on the orbits of my or the eye socket, it'll be down too low and won't be visible because I have that hooded lid. So I try to mimic whatever I do on one eye on the other side. And sometimes it's difficult to see depending on how your mirror is or what lighting you may be using. It's difficult to see, and on camera as you're filming it may look like it's the same length or they may look equal, and then once you go into a different lighting or different mirror or use a different camera, then you find little spaces where or imperfections that you didn't readily see when you were completing the look in the first place. I'm taking a brush and just putting foundation all over my face. And I'm using a Real Techniques brush to just pat that foundation into my skin. And I'm trying to pat it and just make sure that it's even. Make sure that it dries correctly and doesn't look patchy in certain areas. Try not to put too much under my eye because my under eye crease is really bad and I still have to put concealer there. And I use the Kiss concealer. I think the shade that I used is 345 Warm Coconut. I kind of go between the Warm Coconut and Cappuccino. And I didn't do my normal V underneath my eyes. I just placed concealer at the inner and outer portions underneath my eyes. This concealer to me is kind of on the thick side, so I didn't want to put too much by using that triangle method that I normally use. And so I'm just testing it out. I'm also using a new product. I'm using the Blk Opl foundation stick. The shade is Walnut. It's a little bit dark for my liking, but I tried it. And instead of just doing that straight down line on my cheeks, I took the stick on the sides of my mouth. This was a technique that I saw on someone else's channel or Get Ready With Me, so I wanted to try it and see how I liked it or how it looked on my skin tone. So I'm going to take my Real Techniques blending brush and go ahead and blend my concealer in on both sides. And I'm taking that Morphe brush and I'm blending in the stick shade that I use to contour with. And I'm using, one of my powder puffs to set underneath my eyes. My chin and my forehead. So everywhere that I place that concealer, basically. And now I'm just going in to bronze up my face. and actually set that foundation stick that was applied. And now I am setting my entire face. I'm now applying some blush. And I'm just going in again with my foundation brush. You'll see me do this a lot. This is kind of like the fix-all for me. Anything that I don't like, if it comes out too harsh, I'll go back in with my foundation brush. And I'm lining my lips. And I'm using the Sephora cream liner. And I'm going to go in with one of my Believe Beauty liquid, I think it's Velvet Matte Liquid Lipstick. From the looks of it, that one may be the shade Mischief. And I see where I kind of overlined my bottom lip. So I'm trying to clean it up with my flat brush with a little foundation on it. And I'm going to use my Fenty Beauty Toasted Swirl to highlight. And then I'm going in to conceal down the bridge of my nose. And I'm putting a lighter concealer, which is the Sephora Best Skin Ever in 35N underneath my eyes. And I also use that down the bridge of my nose. And then to bronze, I used my LA Girl matte bronzer. And I always go in to do a once over, just making sure everything is blended. And I'm going back in, blending in that lighter shade underneath my eye. Using my powder puff again. I'm going to use a beauty blender to blend in the concealer on my nose. I'm going to go in with that Sephora Best Skin Ever. Sephora Make No Mistake foundation stick. And that shade is Mahogany. And that is a Real Techniques contour brush that I'm using down the bridge of my nose. And although it looks like I'm beating myself up with that brush, it really is a soft brush. My daughter and I are having a full conversation. I can't remember what we were talking about, but apparently it was important because we talked the entire video. So basically this is the look. I just have to add my eyelashes, and I have to set my face. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure that everything is to my liking. And I'm adding more blush. Taking a look at my face from different angles to see if there's anything I need to fix. And I'm going back in and applying powder all over my face. More than likely, I'm using the microsmooth powder from Sephora. And I think this is the final look. I remembered that I didn't have any setting spray over near me. So I did get up to get that. So I'm going to go ahead and set this makeup in place. And I use the Charlotte Tilbury spray. And I only have a trial size, so I'm trying not to use that so much, but I do like it. I really love that, the way that that glitter looks on my eyes. And if you crease like I do, you'll find that we spend a lot of time making sure everything is blended underneath there. And then I am lining my waterline with the e.l.f. What is it called? Satin eyeliner. And then I'm going to I'm cutting cutting my lashes down to make sure that they fit so that I can apply them. And once I do that, this will be the completed look. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have questions about anything. If you've used this palette, let me know which colors or which shades you like. I did find that the shadows were easy to blend in. I didn't see anything different from any other palette that I used. But this was a palette that I wanted to add to my collection. So I am pleased that I was able to make this purchase. Well, I hope that you all enjoy the remainder of the video. Please remember to subscribe, like this video. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. And until next time, stay blessed. And thanks for watching.